Well, it's quite cloudy here in Okayama as we're about to start the final race weekend of the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series, and specifically the Hololive GT3 Japan Series postseason. And as you can see here, the cars take to the track on this cloudy day here in Imasaka. And we're going to take a look into the track map of this track named obviously Okayama International Circuit. We're looking at 3.7 kilometers of racetrack, 11 kilometers total in this track, so basically you have 11 corners to navigate. We're going to be racing 54 laps for 200 kilometers at Okayama. Well, how many times are we going to say Okayama here? In this race, we're going to be seeing a target lap time, maybe a 1:32.084, but I believe a 1:31 is possible. So with that out of the way, we're going to be taking it back. We'll take another look into the entry list. So as you can see, no driver changes at the moment, but we are going to point out the championship contenders after this. So here we see Phu My, Gibbons, and Yusuf Hernandez, Tacos led, Lorenzo Ricci. We want to mention that this might be Lorenzo Ricci's final race weekend in Hololive GT3, as he might want to see himself out of the series. So Lorenzo Ricci might want to go out on a high for one last time. And then we had Daniel Bauer, Laza de Mosnem, Anthony Emanel, Richie Rod, Bon Air. I forgot to replace the name again. It was actually Akamari Jensen in Natago on this hand. Shizuhara Leo in Shion Honda. Of course, we had Jeff Block, Raj Kaczynski, Hans Harry Heinz, Andrew Rakibayev, Sergei Petrov, and Sean Pauly as well. I'm making up from Gen 0 to Gamers. For Gen 3 onwards, it would be Catherine Vasiliev, Juan Suarto, Alex Bowen, and Jake Fox. We have Alex Grant, Mateusz Wanaporto, Daniel Belmonte, and Mohamed Shazin Reza making it Gen 4, and for Gen 5, aside from Trey Nettleton, Mohamed Shakif Reza, Thomas Snooks, and Tim Eno, as well as the last appearance for Gen 6 before their eventual idle outfit revealed before the end of this year. Here we see Ricky Contreras, Alican Astor, Zeke Wimberly, Ben Ripton, and Tony Bazinga riding out the 35-car field. Will attempt to qualify for the 22 spots in the main race. But that's not the most important thing that we want to talk about. We want to talk about the championship standings after Fuji Speedway. We also want to mention that. So, obviously, we want to take a look into the 30 drivers who are still in contention for the championship. So, from Hofumi to Wawan Suharto, these drivers are still mathematically in contention for the championship. But realistically, I would see that the championship might go down between Hofumi and Hansari Heinz. As from Daniel Bauer onwards to Wawan Suharto, it will be a long shot for them if they will be able to win the championship from where they are at the moment. They will have a good result of everyone else at the front not being able to finish or not being able to qualify in this race at all. And here's the topic that we need to talk about. The drivers will need to try their best to qualify for the main race if they need to have any chance of scoring points. So for all of the 13 championship contenders, they need to score basically a qualifying spot. So basically score top 8 in each of their split qualifying, or score in the top 6 in the qualifying race. That is all they need to do in order for them to qualify into the main race. And with that out of the way, we welcome everyone into the stream. I'm Mohamed Shadin Reza in the commentary booth, and alongside me is Zeke Wimberly as we're about to start our one of our final qualifying sessions in Hololive GT3. So Zeke, how are your thoughts heading into, well, this qualifying session?
I'm personally looking for an underdog win. Just someone coming out completely from behind and taking the trophy right out of the top people's grasp, which would just be super amazing to see. Just overall, just kind of warming the heart maybe a little.
Okay, so right now we're looking at Yoso Hernandez. Yoso Hernandez obviously is second in the championship standings. He needs a very solid run in this qualifying session, guarantee his spot in the top 8 in order for him to fight for the championship, as does Lorenzo Ricci. Lorenzo Ricci, he is 4th in the championship standings, heading into the final round in Okayama. So obviously he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders to try to get himself in position to win the championship, or at the very least be in the race to win the championship. So Lorenzo Ricci, 4th in the championship standings. Let's see what he can do. As does Bon Air. Currently sitting 10th in the championship standings, 175 points, about 125 points back from Phu My. Air has a lot of things to do if Air needs to get herself into championship contention. As does Anthony Emanol, obviously on the outside looking in. Obviously, he is about 150 points behind the championship leader as well. And also I want to talk about a few other drivers, but they're in the pit. So we need to wait until more drivers get out on track to see of their championship aspects.
And there's just a ton on the line during this qualifying, and this isn't even, well, the main race yet technically, but we still got all fun stuff going on. But it's gonna be, we're gonna see the same speed finishes, but I believe the racing tension is like really when stuff just starts going off, because you need the endurance, not just the speed. You need to be, you know, a runner, kind of not a sprinter.
So right now we're looking at a few drivers who have started their qualifying lap, but we need to take a look specifically into Anthony Emanol. Anthony Emanol obviously in the Akai Hato Honda. Obviously Akai Hato herself gave a lot of support for Hololive GT3. She, I believe in my mind, absolutely enjoys seeing the Hachama car get representation, the car and Hachama needs at the top step on the podium, basically winning the races. But meanwhile, here we see Anthony Emanol start his flying lap here in Okayama, and we're about to go to turn 1, heading into the first corner. Brake just in between, I believe, the 175 meter board for turn 1. Get a good arc going, hit the curve only slightly, and into turn 2. Williams, 4th gear corner, medium to high speed, so carry a lot of speed there heading into the Moss S. Obviously this section is flat out. Hit the 100 meter board, brake into the slow corner and Atwood. So obviously you need to time your exits perfectly, arc your car perfectly as well for the long back straight. Obviously there's a lot of lifetime gains here. We're talking about tenth of a second. Heading into hairpin, brake at 100 meter board, downshift to first gear. So obviously it's a very slow corner, and then into revolver on medium speed corner. Just take the axle just a bit, heading into Piper, and then you have this short run into Redmond, 50 meter board into Redmond. Get a good going, hold in yourself in second gear in the Honda, third gear here in the Nissan, and then into Hobbs. Downshift the first for that traction and basically turn in. Once you get into that curve there, heading into Mike 9 into the final corner. And so that's basically a lap here in Okayama. Once you get that final corner settled, as you have that long straight, let's see where Anthony Emanol ends up. He will be third. So as it stands, he will have a shot of winning, or rather being able to qualify for the main race.
As we just saw from the little model lap, there's a couple of long straights, we got a couple corners. It's just an overall very balanced raceway we have, which it's basically just a perfect way to end the season, isn't it?
Well, it's a perfect way to end the season, but basically talking about a driver's track, basically all of these challenging corners, like keeping your car straight on the Moss S and trying to navigate both Revolver and Piper, as they're basically treat this as one section. But meanwhile, we're looking at the times here. It's quite disparate right now, as you can see. Sheldon Reza already making it in up to second place, so Sheldon Reza looking very feisty there, as well as Joseph Hernandez and Andrew Takula, and Lorenzo Ricci as well, qualifying 4th with Richie Rod 5th and Emanol 6th, and Hans-Henrik 7th for Anthony Emanol, and Hans-Henrik Heinzen 8th. I believe 7 of the 8 of them, 7 of the 8 drivers in the top 8 are championship contenders, so that's very nice to see.
Well, only qualifying, only 6 drivers get in qualifying, and then we got to the main race. So there's still a chance for just about every driver to just get in for this split, but I find that unlikely. I'm hoping at least maybe one gets in that isn't even a champion contender, but just races for the fun of it.
So obviously we're going to be taking a look into Bon Air, who's currently on the outside looking in. He's already 2 tenths down in the first sector. He's 2 seconds off the pole time set by Andrew Taco at 1:39.41. So Taco is showing a lot of pace in that Nissan. So watch out for Taco that tomorrow, as he is almost locked in for the main race.
Bon Air, very promising overall. I'd argue a little bit more on the crazy side, but still managed to get things done. I've very high hopes for Bon Air in the Matsuri. Sorry if I butchered that, but I'm looking forward to him possibly getting into the finals, but we'll see.
Okay, as Bon Air right around the final corner, Bon Air, where will she end up? It will be not enough. 1:33.120, about over 2 seconds off of the pole time. So Air might have one more shot, but I'm not going to be very optimistic of her chances. Sean Pauly has finished his run in qualifying. He will be 6th unless other drivers can manage to basically beat him. We're looking at Alex Grant. I don't know if Alex Grant can improve on his lap time, as he's currently sitting 9th in the Amane Kanata Nissan. So Alex Grant currently, he's currently 6/10. He's currently 5 tenths off. 1.5 seconds off the pole time at the moment. He's already 1.5 seconds off on both sectors. Anthony Emmanuel has finished his run in qualifying, but unless Alex Grant gets a good run, which he doesn't, he will basically end his run in qualifying 9 and needing to qualify for the main race. But here's the driver that we need to pay attention to. Bon Air, who is still in title contention, will need to try his best to qualify in the main race on basically qualifying train. And Hans-Heinrich Heinz bumps Anthony Emmanuel. Actually, no, Hans-Heinrich Heinz improves on his lap time. No one is bumped down from 8th place, so Anthony Emmanuel is still safe. Bon Air is still yet to improve on that second sector and the first sector. Let's see where Bon Air ends up.
Well, I'm not going to dwell on this too much, but Heinz, per usual, just absolutely bombs in and just takes someone's spot that they probably rightfully got, which is, you've seen this so many times happen throughout the season, and it just keeps happening, and it's just honestly just amazing driving coming from Heinz. But as qualifying has finished, we're going to see this spot.
Okay, so obviously good insight there from Zeke. So we're going to be taking a look into the 8 drivers who will make it into the main race by qualifying. So basically split qualifying. So here we see Andrew Tacos that's the fastest time with 1:39.41. Andrew Tacos in that ASCII Nissan, showing a lot of promise there in that car, especially donning that new logo that ASCII has announced earlier this week or two, with her coinciding with her new outfit. So that's nice to see. Mohamed Shazin Reza wanted to make up for that blunder in Okayama with that non-standard traction control, which basically docked him 200 points and knock him outside of title contention. So Shazin Reza, what a good way to bounce himself back up into the field, and this is with a legal traction control this time. Also Hernandez in Sakura Miko Honda, as you can see here, qualifies in the main race by qualifying 3rd. So good job from him in Sakura Miko Honda, putting up the elite drive when he needed to. Lorenzo Ricci, in what probably his final Apollo GT3 weekend, will qualify into the main race. He will start 4th. Hans-Heinrich Heinz in that Ozora Subaru Lexus actually bumped Richie Rod from 5th to 6th actually. So Hans-Heinrich Heinz worthy qualifying in the main race, doing very well there in the top spots. Richie Rod still holds on quite well in that Shiraka Nissan. So Richie Rod will qualify for the main race. Sean Pauly, obviously not out of title contention. The basically reigning Split A champion will qualify 7th into the main race. And Anthony Emmanuel, the Akai Hato Honda, the other title contender, will qualify 8th and the last driver to qualify on speed into the main race for Split A. For the first drivers on the outside looking in, Alex Grant and Bon Air. I want to mention Bon Air. She's also a title contender, and obviously Bon Air qualified 10th, so she needs to be qualified in the qualifying races, finish in the top 6 in that race in order for her to guarantee a spot into the championship. So Mon Air has a lot to fight for, and also we have Alex Ryan now running but he is obviously out of title contention anyway. Ricky Contreras in 11th Dark and Honda in 11th Owen will need a lot of work to do in 12th. We got Cheryl Gadinola Lexus. Ben Ripton also needs a lot of work in the Sakamata Chloe Lexus. Tim Nino in that Omar Polka Nissan will qualify in 14th, but it will not be enough for him to be in the main race just yet. So, and then Shaki Pereza in the Nissan will start, will have to qualify in the qualifying race as well, as the Jake Fox in the Honda Lexus and Daniel Bolate in that Tokayami Towa Honda. So as we're about to transition over into basically the Split B qualifying, I want to hear your thoughts heading into Split B and your thoughts about the Split A qualifying.
Split A, still, Heinz, per usual, just absolute predator on the hunt, taking over a spot. And looking into Split B, I'm kind of hoping rookie Aquamarine managed to slink a spot into the finals. Hope honestly, she's they are who I'm hoping for to win the championship itself. Actually,
so we're just going to recap to you guys on who makes it into the main race for Split A. Andrew Tacos led, Mama Shazwin Reza, Yosor Hernandez, Lorenzo Ricci, Hans Heinrich Heinz, Richie Rod, Sean Pauly, and Andy Emanuel. All of them make it into the main race by qualifying speed. And as we're about to transition back into the track for Split B qualifying, here we see a first car out on track, and it's none other than Count Gibbons. We do want to mention that Count Gibbons we're actually busy practicing for Euro Sim Racing racing. It's the weekend. He had confirmed to us. It's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Kizuhara Leo, though, is looking to impress in the Kawasaki on Honda. He has yet to win in that car despite scoring a good amount of segmentation. What are you on?
Leo, I can hope, but if it's gonna be just consistent second places, Fumi's car is just absolutely amazing. I'd argue consistent first place finisher. So Leo is really gonna have to put his pedal to the metal on this one if he has any hopes.
And speaking of another storyline we need to mention, I want to mention for the Gen 6 cars, this will be most likely their last race weekend in these colors, as I believe 2 weeks ago we have had news that Gen 6 will receive official ID uniforms, which will affect Hololive GT3 as we know it, in terms of liveries and colors as well as car manufacturers. So obviously, on one of the last few races, these specific car brands need to see where they will end up. As obviously we have Porter starting his qualifying session. I would want to mention as well that Matthias Porto actually has talked that he might want to leave Hololive GT3 after this weekend. So obviously the Porto is going to try to bring home one last hurrah for all the Watames and Tsunomachi Watame. And obviously with him possibly going out, Fawaz Mori, currently driving for Cavoli Arene in the Hololive GT3 Masters Series, is going to be ready to replace the Porto when he needed be. So Porto went around high on his complete his final Hololive GT3 race weekend.
I'm sorry, I'm not good at this, but I hope them the best for whatever else they're pursuing. You lose some interest, you gain some. But right now, still haven't really finished many laps, still placements, nothing really much going on over here yet.
So obviously, in chat, if anyone is interested in sharing your thoughts, we will share your thoughts do share your thoughts in the comments. I will try to read them as much as we can. But the Border is going some decent pace, but obviously he's only the third car out to start his qualifying lap. But now the Border sending to lap of 131.29, will probably be on the inside looking out as the Border qualifies second, only 9/10 of a second behind Callum Gibbons. So I think the Border might have a shot on actually qualifying for the main race this time.
Possibly. Hold on. I could look at the champions standings, but I'm pretty sure it's no-go. So really just bringing out the last of the postseason with a bang.
Yeah, obviously the Porto is currently last in the championship standings, in the postseason standings. They're currently sitting 35th, is not being able to qualify for the postseason. Giant since the one was in the Suzuka. So the Porto wanting to really go out on a high before he potentially leaves Hololive GT3. So the Porto is obviously going to go on his time before he leaves. But Fumi though, already 1.5 seconds behind Callum Gibbons, so he is going to be on the hot seat here.
I'm sorry for any background noise. Kind of had to be a little bit delayed right now, but we do have a little bit of a miniature battle going on in the qualifying already. So I believe Fumi and Bauer. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, I'm looking at leaderboard. Oh God.
Don't worry.
But,
don't worry. I'll just try to fill you in. So basically, Fumi was basically going side by side with Fumi earlier, and then they're going side by side with basically Aster, and now Aster is actually going side by side with Daniel Bauer. Daniel Bauer wants to clear the Tagani Louis cars as early as possible, so that Daniel Bauer might have a shot of actually setting up a complete lap. But as it stands, more drivers setting past the lap times, kind of only second. And here we see Okayama Circuit and Jeff Clark clutching into the top two spots, and with Jeff Clark setting the fastest lap time here with 131.193.
Average Holo GTD race, but in all seriousness, I don't think they were even in the top 5, and they managed to just regrade themselves all the way to number 1 and 2. Truly impressive stuff coming from both Jeff Clark and Aquamarine Jensen.
Okay, apologies here. If basically the car volumes are way too loud, I will adjust right now. Okay, just a bit of a test if you can hear me once again. So, hopefully the audio is better this time. Apologies for the audio volume setbacks. Unfortunately, we have viewers to basically call us out on that. So thanks to the viewers for letting us know. But just to reiterate with you, Jeff Clark and Aquamarine Jensen basically stuck themselves into the main race as it stands. Vlada Tomasha already also setting up very good lap times in he's currently sitting third. The Porto is not yet out on track, and I think that's his end. I think that's the end of his qualifying session. But I don't know if Fumi has the pace or has the clearance to basically beat the Porto, as he's still stuck behind traffic, and that traffic is Sergei Petrov and then Ekomata Kayu this end.
So it seems we're kind of having a little bit of a struggle going on for lap times, at least, as everything's kind of clogging out instead of being a little bit more widespread, which could definitely be a problem, as we are seeing with Fumi with decent lap times, which is honestly kind of scary if you really have to just rely on the racing to get into those spots.
Okay, I will need to check back on a few things. Just need to check on the yeah, okay, there will be I'm gonna need to adjust this thing once again to make sure that I can properly hear it. But right now Fumi is on the outside looking in. The Porto is not going to continue in this qualifying session. Vladislav Damashnev is currently third once again, being able to qualify for his second straight main race by qualifying speed. So obviously Damashnev looking very good. And for the chat and viewers, please confirm to me again that you can hear the commentary, so that I can basically get this thing done. So right now I need to adjust the decibels on that so that you can better hear the voice. And as Kizuhara Leo actually finishes his lap, Kizuhara Leo is also into the main race as well as Catherine Vasilia. Zeke Wimberly is looking to qualify into the main race as well. DePorter as well. And for the guards on the outside looking in for the championship, Phu My and Wawa Suharto are outside the top 8.
Oh shit! Wait, it's top 8. I thought it was top 6. All right. Well, I kind of had a little bit of memory destruction, but might be going into a main race finally. It's the first time of the season, like ever. So yeah, I'm somewhat excited, but that's not the point.
Okay, so we have confirmed that the audio volume has been fixed. So I will try to readjust the audio again to see if it gets better from here. Okay, so basically that is the qualifying session done for Split B, and we'll be looking into who basically is the top 8 that will start in this main race. So Jeff Clark in the Nakayama Lexus will start on the main race for the first time since the new format was introduced in Suzuka. Akamori just keeps delivering as a rookie. Qualifies second in that Minato Aqua Nissan. Obviously, we also want to mention Aqua is going to get new outfit soon, so it's a win-win for both Jensen and Minato Aqua. So good kudos to them. Last got the Machina makes it into the main race once again, and Callan Gibbons as well. In that Roboco Lexus. So obviously we also want to mention that the car has livery up, as you can see here, the black and white fenders there. This is to basically mirror Roboco's idle outfits better, so there's the addition. Catherine Vasilia also makes it into the main race in that Santa Pecora Honda once again. Shizu Haralia will also make it into the main race for the Masakishi on Honda, so kudos to him as well. Zeke Wimberly, for the first time in Hololive GT3, since the new format was introduced, will make it into the main race. So kudos to Zeke Wimberly, and Matias Juan de Porto, in his probably final Hololive GT3 start, will be on the main race as well for the first time since the format was introduced in 8th. Phu My, on the other hand, will have to try to make it into the main race by finishing tops in the qualifying races, as well as all of the drivers on back. So obviously, we have the championship leader in Hololive GT3 stuck at the back. So obviously we need to take a look at the top 10. So share us your thoughts of the qualifying week so far.
Well, rookie delivers yet again. Just an absolutely amazing driver, especially for not being here very long. But overall, this is first time in the season I've scored a point. Well, not really, but I'm overall very excited for what we have to offer within the next one race. I'm sorry, my memory's not at its sharpest right now.
Okay, don't worry. There will be a qualifying race after this, but then there will also be a qualifying for the qualifying races, so stay tuned. So obviously we have Andrew Rakinbayev and Okayama Honda will need to qualify for the qualifying races to make it. Sergei Petrov as well, and then Nikomata Nissan he will also try to make it to the main race by finishing tops in the qualifying races. He's in the Okayama Nissan, as well as Roger Kaczynski and Dan Bauer representing Choco and Mel respectively. Wawan Suharto, also a championship contender. Now, to our knowledge, Wawan Suharto is actually on the outside looking in. He's 13th in the championship standings, so nearly 200 points behind the championship leader Phu My. So Wawan Suharto might need to go gung-ho in this race. Savage Nickerton as well will need to qualify as well, and as does Tony Bazinga, Thomas Snooks, and Alikan Aster, but from 15 to 18 they are basically non-title contenders. So obviously, with that out of the way, that is basically the end of the respective split qualifying sessions. 16 drivers have basically entered for the the main race so far, but we're looking to get 6 more into the field. So obviously, I want to know of basically your thought of the whole both qualifying sessions so far.
Sorry, I had siblings out here now, but overall, it's looking pretty bright for a couple of the people that haven't even scored points yet, which I'm hoping that they, kind of die out in a blaze of glory. But we got a couple of contenders going in right now for the title that are guaranteed in the main race. and now we're just gonna have to watch to see if certain cars get basically held back or not, because that's what I noticed a lot, especially in that second qualifying.
So we need to basically reiterate once again that there are basically a few guys that need to qualify for the main race, 19 drivers who are on the outside looking in. So this, the first one we need to talk about is Alex Grant in the Americanata Nissan. We have seen Alex Grant clutch up in the qualifying races to qualify into the main race. So what are your hopes for Alex Grant?
Alex Grant is an overall very, very consistent driver. I'm always and especially a stalwart defender. I've seen multiple defenses that are just absolutely amazing coming from Alex Grant. However, I am noticing that they do place around barely within the qualifying. So I believe that they need to step it up just at least a little to really just get into that zone, you know?
So obviously we also need to mention that Shakif Reza, obviously the younger of the Reza siblings, is currently on the outside looking in. So obviously Shakif is gonna try to. He's always on the run to basically outrun his brother. And obviously his brother is on the move to challenge for the championship in that number 31 Himimori Luna Honda. So what do you think of the younger Reza making it into the main race?
The younger brother, kind of unlucky. I'm gonna be honest, especially within the last race where his suspension stopped working. I believe it's just
Yeah.
they have good races. It's just they're just really, really unlucky.
Yeah, really unlucky for the younger Reza so far. We need to give you a bit of a recap. Back in Suzuka, he basically pitted, but then there was an issue with the car, so he basically ended up retiring from the main race. And on Fuji, he was tapped by Catherine Vasilyev, well, classic Catherine Vasilyev. Obviously, Catherine Vasilyev is driving the USADA Pecora Honda, and basically Catherine is channeling the inner war crime of USADA Pecora. So obviously, Shakir Reza was at a disadvantage and finished 22nd and last for the second time in 2 races. So unlucky for him. But also we need to talk about Hofumi. Hofumi is 9th in that qualifying session, on the outside looking in, heading into the main race. So what are your hopes for Hofumi to make it into the main race?
I honestly have faith that they're gonna make it into the main race. Just an overall very consistent driver, and just always making it, at least to me, within podium, if not top 10, which even got in the top 10 that race. But just an overall very solid driver. I have very high hopes for Fumi to just absolutely demolish the competition looking into this race.
So, also we need to talk about the underdogs. You mentioned that you are absolutely paying attention to the underdogs. So, Wawan Suharto is currently sitting 13th and last of the championship contenders, still mathematically in contention for the championship. As we're looking into the points right now, Wawan Suharto is 137 points. Basically down a few points to Fumi's 308th. So obviously still within title contention. But whatever the case is, the permutation for Suharto is very simple. The top runners do not score points, and Wawan Suharto wins, and everyone else doesn't get the good points finishes that they need. It would mean that Wawan Suharto will have a chance to win, have a great shot to win the championship. So what are your hopes for Wawan?
I'm praying. I'm gonna be honest. It's very unlikely. It's a slim chance, but it is definitely possible, and I am rooting for Wanwan all the way through.
Okay, so we're gonna need to basically clear the field at the moment, and there are only a few more drivers that we need to pay attention to. Obviously, we have some notable guys who have made it into the main race as well. I do want to mention actually. I don't believe that Daniel Bolatev actually made it into the main race. So obviously Daniel Bolatev is gonna be he will try to qualify for the main race right now, but I am going to be paying attention as well, because if we look at here, the split A qualifying, the A driver who will make it into the main race, so Tacos like Shazza and Reza, we also have Hernandez, Lorenzo Ricci, Hans Heinrich Heinz, Richie Rod as well in the Sherakan Fubuki Nissan, Sean Pauli, and Anthony Amanel as well. And then we have Jeff Clark, Aquamarine Jensen, so that's that. And then I do actually want to note that Daniel Bolatev did not qualify on a pace actually, so Daniel Bolatev will also need to try to work hard to basically get into the spot that he needs. Actually, I need to double check again to see what I've been missing so far. So oh yes, Catherine Vasilyev. I forgot to mention that Catherine Vasilyev have made it into the main race as well, so good job for her as well, as was Callum Gibbons. Vladislav Domashev has also made it into the main race, so I will need to pay attention to see who makes it. Oh yeah, hang on, I need to double check once again and see Quimbley. Oh yeah, there is basically the last driver that we forgot to pay attention to. So obviously, let's get back into the qualifying for the qualifying race. For apologies for the slight wait, as we're basically going for the calculations to see on who is going to be in the main race and who is going to be in the qualifying races. So obviously with that calculation out of the way, 19 cars are lined up at Okayama at the moment for one last shot to compete for the main race, to compete for points, and to compete for the championship here in Okayama. As we can see here, and apologies here, I also made another miscalculation. Apologies here, just a bit of a whoopsie. So obviously, we're heading into the basically the how do you put this? The qualifying races. Who do you think are your favorites to make it into the main race?
I don't believe Saharto got into the main race.
Not yet, at least.
So I don't remember, but I'm rooting for him.
So obviously,
honestly, the two.
Yeah,
oh, you continue. It's either for me, Aquamarine Jensen, or Juan Saharto. I'm honestly hoping for them to win the whole thing.
Well, for the whole championship, we'll have to wait and see. But first, we have
for the
confirmation. But first, we need to settle the qualifying race, and here it is. Here we go on board with Shaka Reza wanting to one-up his brother on his basically internal quest to one of his brother, obviously the younger brother, I guess. So Shaka Reza has a lot to do. Basically, try to qualify for the main race.
Well, let's hope his luck doesn't strain him. Overall, a very, very solid driver. It's just, as I've said, his luck is not the greatest.
So obviously, Shaka Reza, basically barreling down the main straight. You can see where the odd right now is running more than this time. Also, going to go some new drivers here at the moment. I was going to ask her in that number 61 Takane Louis Honda. We don't know if it's going to be a Honda next season. It might change it to a Lexus. I don't know. Maybe Louis may use the Alton top for her idle outfit. But we'll have to wait and see, as the official reveal will be at the very least before December. But for now, I'm going to ask her for the Honda. Here we see Circuit Petrol at number 5 Nissan, obviously. So we're going to mount to Hayes. Also, this car hadn't yet been a race, so let's see what Petrol can do given these conditions, as well as a few some of the other drivers as well. But pay attention to Fumi actually. Fumi is currently the championship leader, and he's currently on the outside looking in. What story are we going to witness if Fumi actually didn't actually make it to the race?
It's gonna be an absolute game changer. I guarantee Fumi won't get first place unless other contestants really mess up that badly, but it's gonna be an absolute scramble for first place, I reckon.
So, obviously, we're gonna be taking a look into the final qualifying session today. Obviously, this is the second last qualifying session of the weekend, and for the Grand Series of 2022, obviously, we're gonna go out trophy for the champion is currently being made at the moment. We are not going to reveal it until maybe the final hours and minutes before the stream starts. So obviously, we're seeing a few drivers already setting up their lap times. Let's see where hopefully will end up as he's already into turn 1.
Well, Fumi, just see they've managed to knock up first, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, everyone's out on the track right now. Fumi, solid contender going around, bailing down the track. I'm pretty sure Fumi will be able to keep it, but we've seen dive bombs like last qualifying, and I just love to see if it can repeat itself.
So we're looking at Fumi having a very decent first sector here. Obviously, this is his first lap here. Only 400ths of a second between Shaq and Chris. Was already setting a very fast lap time. 1:30.880 is provisional pole for the main race. So Shaq and Chris is looking very in a very comfortable position to win this qualifying race if he continues that.
The younger brother's gonna maybe get a pole position, but it's gonna be truly awesome to just see what's gonna go on. I wonder how Fumi especially will retaliate to this stance going on right now before we enter the main pits of the race.
Before we enter the qualifying races, that is. Anyways, Fumi, let's see where Fumi ends up. It's going to be close, will be tight. It's going to be a yes! Fumi qualifies second, only 3/10 behind Shaq Freza. So Fumi is provisionally inside the main race. And Thomas Snooks, also the driver that needs a performance come the end of the season, as Snooks is also pointless heading into the final race at the final weekend of the season. Snooks with the second place run, so obviously going to Shirota and it's Sasaki Brown.
This is the revenge of the 0 pointers. It seems that everyone's having a change of luck right now, as traditionally people that just don't make it inside are just absolutely starting to just put their game on right now. They know this is serious. They are going out in a flash of glory, whether they like it or not.
And also we want to pay attention to another few things right now. Thomas has already sets the fastest first sector so far, 700ths up of Shaq Freza's pole time. So let's see what Thomas is going to do heading into the second sector. He just exits Piper and heading into the main straight. He only loses 1/10 of a second as it stands. He will bump both Fumi down to third, but it will not be enough for Snooks to steal pole position from Shaq Freza, but we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Bon Air is not improving. Bon Air is currently in the championship hunt. She's currently 10th place at the moment and is currently on the outside looking in.
It's just, okay, there's a lot kind of going on. I'm going to try to decipher it a little bit, but Bon Air, she was extraordinarily competent, at least within the early races, definitely one of the more leaders of the groups, but currently kind of slacking behind a little bit, while Snooks, it's like reversing everything, you know? It's like the roles are being reversed a little bit.
So right now, we're looking at some of the few guys who are looking for redemption in this race after a lackluster first 3 races so far. Thomas is one of them right now, only saying the fastest first sector, 300ths up on Shaq Freza. Well, let's see if he can gain on that second and third sectors. Meanwhile, Lawrence Marshall is currently in the pit lane. He will continue for qualifying. If you have it at home at the moment, you can just go at the moment. So right now, Lawrence Marshall is currently 6th place on that hot seat, the last driver in that transfer spot. So obviously, sort of looking keenly and seeing if any other driver improves. As Thomas Snooks does not improve on that second sector, 2/10 off. So Snooks, he'll need to pull in a miracle final sector if he wants to have a shot at stealing the position for Shaq Freza. Meanwhile, Daniel Bauer is leading into the pits. That's his qualifying session over. Daniel Bolate is not looking to improve as well. He has lost a good amount of time. Jake Fox bumps up to 9th place, fastest for a sector. Decent second and third sectors. Bumps 3 negative down to 10. He's now up to 9th. Meanwhile, Ripton, Kaczynski, goes into the pit. And Bon Air will qualify 14th. The driver in 10th in the championship standings is currently on the outside looking in.
I'm apologizing for any sibling noise you're going to be hearing throughout this. They're not in bed yet, but looking at standings, it seems, like I said, a lot of roles are being kind of flip-flopped around right now, and especially Phu My managed to get third. Yeah.
And we should want to mention that Shakir actually improved just a bit by only 7,000 for the second, 130.840 for Shakir Reza, as he guarantees pole position for the qualifying race. So obviously we only have a few drivers who have yet to finish their run right now. Adak-RMS is the last driver who is looking to finish their run at the moment. Sergei Petrov and Adak-RMS are not looking to improve. Sergei Petrov qualified 15th, and Adak-RMS will qualify 5th.
Well, this is going into the quote-unquote main race, which is not really the main race. It's actually a qualifying race, but we got our positions set. There's a lot going to go on.
Obviously, you're right. Obviously, there has been a lot of talk heading into the main race, qualifying race so far, especially the championship contenders in this qualifying race. They will need to give it everything they got in this race for them to have a shot at the championship. But for now, we're looking at more Shakir Reza on pole position for the qualifying race. So Shakir Reza wanting to bring home the first win for Moses Nene is going to be in this qualifying race. Let's see what he can do from basically pole position, and I'm going to put it in this hand, feeling pole Suzuki. And he's at the moment. So Thomas Nukes in his bid to get into the main race is in second place on the front row with Shakir Reza, fellow Gen 5 teammate in that number 43 Sure Botan Lexus. Hopefully, the championship leader will start third in the Sora Nissan, because I'm going to work on Nissan for Tony Bazinga. He also has a good team in the house for making the main race as well. Ali got Aster in the Takane Rui Honda will try to make it into the main race as well. He will start 5th. Juan Suardo does very decently enough to qualify inside top 6. Daniel Bauer, also a championship contender, we also don't want to forget that. He is at the very least a whisker away from Juan Suardo, so you throw him at Lexus, he's going to try to give it everything he got. And as with Daniel Bauer in the Okayama Honda, in AJ Fox was from Lexus in 9th, Savage the Yuki Hanalani Honda at 10th, Alex Bowen, Shirokano Lexus at 11th, Ben Ripton, Sakamata Chloe Lexus at 12th, Ryan Kaczynski, number 74, Suzuki Choco Lexus in 13th, and Bon Air, the lowest of the championship contenders, will start 14th, as Bon Air will try to make it into the main race by trying to pass as many cars as possible. I don't think it's likely Bon Air will need to hope for a miracle for her to make it into the main race. Sergei Petrov in that number 5, Nekomata Akayu Nissan will qualify 15th, Tim Eno in that Omar Bonca Nissan will qualify 16th on the grid. And then we will see Ricky Contreras in the La Paz Darkest Honda starting 17th. Alex Grant in the Americana Nissan will start 18th. And Joaquin Baez, the last driver out on the track, will start 19th heading into the qualifying races. So obviously, we're going to transition once again before the main race starts. I want to hear your thoughts on who is going to be your favorites. But I just realized I have basically mocked up the lifetime counters once again, so apologies here. So I need to reiterate once again that it is Shakir Reza on pole. Shakir Reza on pole, Thomas Nukes is second, Hofumi third, Bazinga fourth, and then Aligan Aster in fifth, and Wawas Harto sixth. And then we also want to mention one thing about Daniel Bauer in seventh, Daniel Bolotev in 8th, Jake Fox 9th, Simon Niggett in 10th, and then Alex Bowen 11th, Ben Ripton in 12th, Raja Kaczynski 13th, Bon Air 14th, and then we have Sergei Petrov 15th, Tim Eno 16th, Ricky Contreras 17th, Alex Grant 18th, and Andrew Akemaya making basically the last of the runners here. So apologies if there has been a miscalculation with the lap time counters, as I have actually accidentally added 54 laps instead of the how do you put this, actually 27 that we actually intended. So apologies here, as we're gonna need to reshuffle once again. So it's going to be the 43. Hang on, 40. So we have the 43 and the 1, and then we have the 16 and the 61. Obviously, the Gen 6 cars currently qualifying 4th and 5th. Juan Suharto will look to qualify 6. It's actually qualified 6, by the way. And then we have Daniel Bauer in 7th, Daniel Bolatev in 8th. And then we have Jake Fox in 9th. And then we have actually hang on. Jake Fox in 9th, Cypher 3 Negatin in 10th. And then we have Cypher 3 Cypher 3 Negatin is in 10th. Alex Bowen is in 11th. And then we're looking at Ben Ripton in 12th. And nothing too serious at the moment. Ryan Chikazinski 13th. And then we have Bon Air in 14th. Sergei Petrov 15th. And currently sitting in 16th is Tim Inno. Ricky Contreras 17th. And also we have Alex Grant in 18th. And Andrew Himbayev in 19th. So we're going to need to restart basically the race a bit, because we actually messed up the grip orders at the moment. So we're gonna need to restart just a bit. Not exactly restart the qualifying. We're just gonna need to start a new race with the qualifying order that we have just set. Apologies here once again, but don't worry, we have this race almost getting ready to set. And obviously we have Shakib Reza on pole and Thomas Snooks in 2nd place. I'm not sure on who is going to be the one we need to pay attention to, as here we see Shakib Reza lining up on pole. Actually, here it is. We're gonna see a few cars lining up on the grid. Here we see 6 red lights, or rather 5 red lights here in Okayama for the qualifying race. And we get underway, and I just realized Shakib Reza is quite slow off the line. Not looking good for Shakib Reza there, as he basically responded quite late there. And that will mean a lot of drivers basically take advantage of Shakib Reza stopping over there. And it looks like Aligan Aster and Boas Harto also got caught up in the mix. So obviously we have drivers shuffling back and forth here, and as you can see here, we're gonna look back all to the leaders as Thomas Snooks leads this race. Hopefully second, Tony Mazinga 3rd, Juan Suardo up to 4th. Shakib Reza started on pole, but misfired the engine just a bit on the start, has now dropped out to 5th. Daniel Bauer is in 6th place now.
Well, that's just, I believe that's just another case of bad luck coming to the younger of the Reza siblings, which it just strikes again.
Strikes again, unfortunately, and meanwhile, Daniel Bolatev and Jake Fox going side by side as the hairpin and heading into Revolver and Piper. They will still be side by side, but Bolatev will have the run, and obviously being squeezed into the inside there. Jake Fox there. Apologies for the slightly messy timing for here. Well, the timing time is not looking very funny here. But obviously fix that, and here we see Petrov overtaking Alex Grant, and then we see a bit of contact between Trina and Tim Inno. Gen 5 cars rubbing wheels again, but for now Shakib Reza is still in the main race as it stands right now. He is currently 5th.
Shakib Reza was basically guaranteed a chance at the finish at the main race, but now they just gotta work maybe a little bit harder. I'm sure it'll turn out fine. It was just like a slight miscalculation. It wasn't like a crash or anything. There's still hope. It's just Shakib just has to try a little bit harder.
Meanwhile, Bowen and Trey Dickinson shoot the snow and ice base B2 is there. Trey Dickinson has the edge round. Bowen, Trey Dickinson up to 12th place. You see there is quite damage on that left door on Trey Dickinson's car, as well as on the right side. Both sides have received damage. Trey Dickinson has made contact with some of the other drivers here. Meanwhile, as you can see, more battles between Alex Gwen and Circuit Petrol Nissan on Nissan battle here. Counting down the back straight here, and obviously Sergei Petrov is looking for an offense, as does Alex Grant. Here also Tim Inno and Alex Bowen.
Well, it seems we got a lot of battles happening on within first 5 laps, it usually simmers down a little bit after the 5th one, but as it stands right now, we got Bon Air and Grant, and then we got I'm sorry, I can't pronounce. I'm sorry, I can't.
Trinidad is currently on the outside, and then into the inside of, I believe, what is called Hobbs. Trinidad holding very well there into Mike 9. He is ahead. So Trinidad up to 11th place, and Snooks currently sets a season lap time there. 131.674, 131.400 there. For Saki Preza, slightly faster than the drivers up front. So obviously they're playing catch up here.
I'm sorry, I'm just never gonna get that name down, but it's just a lot happening at once, and my mind isn't really fresh right now. But it seems we just got a couple battles going on right now, and I think Shakif is slowly catching on to Saharto a little bit. It's gonna be something I'd probably watch out for at the moment, but it's kind of cold right now.
And currently for the final transfer spot, Denenbauer has overtaken Alikan Aster. Alikan Aster is on the hunt. He's on the heels of Daniel Bauer, but is he close enough? The answer will be no at the moment, unfortunately. So Aster holding on into 6th place, and Aster in 7th. Excuse me. Meanwhile, Tony Bazinga holding on to 3rd place. But here we see Bon Air dropping down to 15. She absolutely needs a miracle in order for her to make it into the main race and keep her championship hopes alive. And as it stands at the moment, we'll be reduced to only 11 championship contenders heading into the final race of the season.
I'm sorry again, siblings, but I believe they rose about 13, and 11 doesn't seem really that bad. It seems we still got a primarily contender cast going on right now, but I'd argue that could probably get lessened as time definitely goes by, as we're only on the 4th of 27th lap right now.
Looking at Tony Bazinga trying to be close to Fumi, but he's not close enough. Shaki Freza's on the heels of Wallace Hard. Wallace Hard losing touch to Tony Bazinga, who is attacking Fumi. Shaki Freza is a good run off of Atwood and heading into back straight. Let's see if Shaki Freza has anything to say. Suardo, he is getting close, but he's not close enough.
It's gonna be definitely a battle that's gonna last a couple laps right now. I don't think there's gonna be any overtaking during this lap, but it's definitely gonna start to heat up a little bit within the coming laps.
And here we see Sergei Petrov holding on into 17th place, not looking good for him. Obviously, he is already out of title contention. And here we see Alex Grant and Bon Air going side by side, heading into Revolver and Piper. Bon Air has the inside line trying to defend as much as he can from Alex Grant. They are running gun at this end. Obviously, a beast on the straight end in this end, but the Lexus has the advantage in the quarters. And now Sergei Petrov is currently in the mix.
It's very chaotic going on within the back a little bit. I'd argue it's a little bit of their own, and I'm seeing just all this stuff happening. It's kind of hard to do, but Sergei Petrov and Grant are firing now, and I'm pretty sure someone's going to join the mix maybe in a little bit. But it's...
Wait for it.
Oh, continue.
I think it's playing at the moment between Grant and Petrov. Mutual respect between the two drivers, so ultimately very good there for between the two. Meanwhile, Volante is edging closer to that, basically Jake Fox in that Ocean Marine Lexus. How do you put this? Sexy hot one for the call. Meanwhile, Shaki Freza really running, getting very close there to Juan Suarto, but the gap is now still 0.3 of a second. You see that the gap has been increased to 0.4 just a bit, but now Shaki Freza is as close as it's ever been to Juan Suarto. Will he dare make a dive bomb down the inside? The answer is yes. Shaki Freza trying to pull the offensive onto Suarto, but he's just not close enough. Meanwhile, Bazinga and Fumi going side by side for second.
It's definitely getting a little bit more heated within the first place. You can see a little bit of the battling happening in the background as we spectate, but it's just a lot happening, and we got Bazinga and Fumi still fighting. It's going to be, I think, a little bit in Fumi's favor, though. It's just constant shuffling.
It's constant shuffling there, and as Tony Bazinga takes second place, and Elegant Aster battling for the final transfer spot between Daniel Bauer as well. Daniel Bauer needs to get into the main race, and they both make contact. Elegant Aster pushes Daniel Bauer off the track at Mike Knight.
What a jerk move, but I don't think Bauer's going to take that a little bit lightly. I'm pretty sure that that's going to be a very an offense going on over between Bauer and Aster. Yeah, Aster, sorry. I had to look in a little bit, but it's definitely going to be a battle, probably, I'd argue, lasting possibly the whole race.
We'll have to wait and see, as Jake Clark has been overtaken by Daniel Bellotte. Let's see if Bellotte has a shot on making it into the main race as well. Daniel Bellotte hasn't made it into the main race since the format was introduced. Meanwhile, Shaki Brez is getting very close there as well. 2 walls after this time. He has a very solid exit off of Atwood. He's now really thinking of a move down the inside, but he's just not close enough. Will he make the dive bomb? The answer is yes! Shaki Reza gonna go bold after the blundered start, and Shaki Reza has the edge just a bit, but Wallace Warta is not gonna give him an inch, as they're both, as Wallace Warta is fighting for a championship, both of them has a guaranteed spot in the main race. It isn't where they will finish, but Wallace Warta has the inside line heading into basically Redmond corner, but Shaki Reza is still alongside as it stands. They can see they're still at it again. Shaki Reza pushing off Wallace Warta just a bit. It's going to be a bit ugly there heading into Mike Knight, but right now, so far, unlike Elegant Aster and Daniel Bauer, it's clean.
It's gonna be, I'm pretty sure it's gonna dirty up in a little bit, but it seems to keep Reza is starting to leave Suharto in the dust right now as he's speeding through the straight. Really gonna be a battle between both of their strengths and how they utilize them.
So right now we're looking at Shaki Reza. Now his basically his target is Phu My, who's currently falling down in terms of race pace at the moment. Let's see, put him out of balance here right now. Now it's Ron catching up into Wojciech Kaczynski. Let's see what Roy can do with that Lexus car, as she is gonna try to bring home that car to a solid finish if she's not going to make it into the main race.
It's a little bit far. Right now it could probably close in within maybe like a lap or two, but nothing's gonna really happen, at least until then. And while I have the chance to mention it, Snooks is currently blazing through right now with Bazinga currently being about 5.4 seconds.
It was at 5.4 seconds, but it's actually 3.4 seconds, so obviously Thomas Snooks is basically having that gap increase with Phu My losing touch. But let's see what Bazinga can do as Milan Grant and Pressure going side by side once again, heading into Revolver Piper. Well, meanwhile, we also want to pay attention to the lap time differences between Shaki Reza and Phu My, as well as Bazinga, as they're crossing the line right now. 131.547 for Snooks. For Bazinga, 131.40, only a 10 faster for Bazinga. 131.783 for Shaki Reza, 138.99. I think that it's close to the fastest lap of the race so far. So Shaki Reza absolutely catching Phu My.
It's gonna be definitely just an absolute conquest coming from the younger of the Reds' siblings right now to see reclaim his quote-unquote former glory of first place right now. I'd argue he has a guaranteed spot within the main race tomorrow, but I wouldn't mind jacking up your position a little before you do that.
Meanwhile, we're looking at Elegant Aster to try to catch up to Wallace Warta. Wallace Warta is also losing ground as well. Elegant Aster might just be able to catch up and make the pass once the opportunity arises. Get the good exit off of Atwood, see if he can have a shot in basically overtaking Ron Suharto, and Ron Suharto is losing pace a lot and is dropping down in terms of race positions.
Yeah, what I'm on right now is kind of, oh shoot, I'm sorry, I'm fogging a little, but I believe right now Aster is really catching up to Suharto right now, and Reza is still on the foul for Phu My right now. Right now, Suharto is kind of losing touch, but I don't think it's that severe right now. I'm hoping that he really starts to catch up a little bit more on those corners, but I don't think he's necessarily safe, but I would be a little bit more cautious.
Yeah, right now, Juan Suharto is currently losing ground to basically basically the leaders at the moment, Squad 131.9, and obviously not going to give any favors there. Now last lap, watch Aki Reza now really catching up to Fumi. Now I think it's caught up to the slightly early air there, emitting from that distance. Watch Aki Reza. 5 tenths now, still 5 tenths. This will be the last that Shaki Reza catches up. Will there be a move done by Shaki Reza? I will not be confident too much. The case is, we'll be taking a deep look if Shaki Reza can get very close. Yes, is the answer. Shaki Reza is now 4 tenths behind, hopefully.
It's gonna be an offense scaling right now within the next couple laps, and I'd argue possibly even the next one if Reza is feeling particularly bold. And right now, while we're talking about this, we got a little bit of conflict between Ripton and I still. Yeah, thank you for filling in for me, but it's just gonna kind of go on. I'll let Justin.
Yeah, right now Phoenixon currently on the outside, heading into Redmond. And heading into Hobbs, Trinignan has the inside line, takes the curve, but I don't think it's too severe. So Trinignan holding on, tries to really defend on the inside so far as he's basically dumping him into the pit lane. Actually, Trinignan and Aster practically peeled into the pits. I want to be basically pay attention if this pit strategy is going to work out for them, because obviously we have these two Hondas peeling into the pit, so what are their odds? We'll have to wait and see.
What I'd be concerned right now is that you're pitting on lap 10 right now, and I'm worried about the fuel right now, personally. Like, you need enough fuel to last throughout the race, because you don't want to pit a second time right now, because personally, I've had that happen to me, and it's not fun. You drop down.
Yeah, not funny, and it dropped down, and it was unfortunate indeed. But I want to take a look into basically some of the other drivers here at the moment. The field is a bit spread out. We want to mention that as well. Shaki Reza is also, quote-unquote, running low on fuel. Now, we just don't know if we have the race fuel monitor. I don't think we have the race fuel monitor here at the moment, but I think some of the drivers will have to bid for fuel, because obviously there will not be enough in the tank, honestly, to basically run a lap to Okayama. Some will be thinking of making it into the pits, but we'll have to wait and see, as some of the drivers might be able to make it, some of the drivers might be on the outside looking in.
It's gonna be very hard if you're kind of pitting early right now, because although you have fresher tires, it's gonna be taking a little bit to warm them up, so it's gonna be a very weird strategy that's either gonna work wondrously or kind of crash and burn.
And looking into the gaps at the moment, Alex Bowen still in 11th place, catching up to Raiji Kaczynski in the top 10. Obviously, Bowen is currently in 11th. And currently, we're looking into the drivers who have pitted. Aligan Aster is currently ahead of Rakim Bayev, but we'll have to pay attention on who pits again. Aligan Aster have 10 laps fresher tires than Rakim Bayev and the drivers in front of him, so Aster might be able to deliver a comeback move, but we'll have to wait and see, because I have seen drivers who don't pit right now, and drivers who have pitted and basically catch a good driver and basically keep a very good lead. We'll have to wait and see. Shaki Reza is really trying to catch it to Fumi, but he's still not close enough.
I'm pretty sure Fumi is just waiting for Shaki Reza to just pit already, because although I'm seeing that kind of flashing little gas gauge right now, he really has to pit kind of soon within the next couple laps or so. That's going to be Fumi's saving grace if they can just wait it out until then.
So right now, we do want to mention that Daniel Bauer is still in 6th place, but he's losing quite slightly, and after that, Molotov is catching. As you can see here, Fumi and Shaki Reza are nearly tied last lap. 139.43 for Bauer, 131.8 for Daniel. Molotov is still a stalemate so far, but Shaki Reza is slowly catching up into the back end of Fumi. Fumi now dropping down to 3/10 of a second. Shaki Reza might have a chance this lap.
It's going to be on the straight, I guarantee it, but it's just going to be really, really close right now. And if Shakif Reza can pass Phu My right now before he has to pit, I could argue that there would be a huge advantage going into the pits.
And as you can see here, I forgot to mention, the tire degradation in Okayama is quite a lot, 12 laps in, and we see drivers setting in only at the 34 to 35. So right now, Aligan Asa is on the hunt. He's currently making a comeback drive. He only has 15 laps to do so. He gets himself back up to 6, qualifying for the main race. But right now, one driver that stands in his way, one driver that stands in his way is Ricky Contreras and Alonso Stubbs Honda.
It's gonna be really, really hard for Astor to recover from this after they had to pit for a little bit right now. Currently now sitting in about 17th right now. It's gonna take wonders to have Astor just recover his original spot, which I'm pretty sure is gonna be used through other people pitting, but I'll have to see how the strategy works.
And looking into the lap time here right now, Shakireza is about faster than Phu My by 10th of a second there. Last lap, Shakireza might have a shot there heading into turn 2, which is basically called Williams. Heading into Moss S there, the S section here. At Okayama, Shakireza is really closing in, but I would prefer Shakireza if he basically takes it easy before this back straight. And right now, that's what Shakireza is doing. As we can see here, Phu My losing the back end there. Trying.
Well, it seems he cut off a little bit, but honestly, I'm just looking for that little fuel gauge right now. It is glowing orange right now. Shakif really has to pit just soon right now, or else it's gonna be kind of a not fun time for him. So yeah, Phu My has a little bit left to wait, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Alright, it appears Reza it still isn't back right now, so there isn't gonna be much.
Need to double check.
Do it eventually. Gonna lose a couple, but fine for right now. As long as he comes out within, I believe, 11th to like 14th mark.
Okay,
they should be.
Okay, Shakif Reza have apologies here. I got a slight disconnect, and basically the mic didn't pick up on Discord, so I'm back. And here's the one thing that we have here the most Shakif Reza pitting because he has run out of fuel, so obviously they'll have to go for a bit of service for fuel and tires. But I think Shakif Reza might be able to get himself back up into 6th because he has 14 laps fresher tires than everyone else who have yet to pit or is going for that no stop. So the strategy is going to be very interesting here as we're heading into the middle stage of this race.
No stop, it's gonna be really weird because as you've said before, this tire wear is gonna be extraordinarily big within like 14 laps, as you said, about 34s, 35s, I believe, and it's gonna be really hard to see if they can really keep up with people with just fresher tires.
And we have received reports that Shakif Reza is still having problems in the pit lane once again for the second time in 3 races, and for the 3rd time in a row. Something has to go wrong for Shakif Reza in either the qualifying race or the main race. But this one has to especially hurt because it's only the qualifying race, and he started on pole.
Starting at pole, having your engine kind of screw on you, and then now you have what's the problem going on in Red's car right now?
And right now, basically, while his engine can start, there has been a bit of a misfire once again, but I think this misfire is worse than it should be, as he's currently being lapped. So that's basically Shakif Reza's odds of winning this race, or actually making it into the main race up in smoke. So Shakif Reza absolutely fuming at the moment, but this is not the way he wanted this season.
From 1st to 19th, and within about 15 laps. Yeah, it's not a fun season right now for Shakif Reza.
Well, the one saving grace that he had was basically scoring points at Warrior Run, but that's pretty much it. So basically, Shakif Reza not having the break that he needs, but this will also mean that Daniel Molatev is currently sitting in 6th. he has a spot to make it into the main race.
Well, if someone's down coming is your upcoming, I guess. We got one more person within. The ranks and everyone's dreams might come true today. It's gonna be really kind of a scramble to see what's gonna go on, but I don't think it's gonna be too much of a scramble right now, as all the gaps are kind of widening out.
Yeah, and as we can see here, the gaps have been wide. Yeah, you had mentioned the gaps are widening here at the moment, and now it's basically the fog between who has pitted and who is yet to pit. I want to see Alec and Aster's lap time here at the moment. There's lap between Williams and Kimbayev heading into the hairpin. Serena can then up to 17th place with those fresher tires here at the moment, so basically a battle between the one stop versus the no stop.
I think one stop definitely has a little bit of an edge going into this battle right now with the fresher tires, but the question is for me is, are the tires warm yet? As that's going to be a key decider within who's going to win this little battle going on.
And it looks to me that the battle will go to Cypher Triniketin up to 17th place. I think the tires have warmed up sufficiently at the moment. The track temps have risen up to 19 degrees, but only slightly. So obviously we need to pay attention to some of the other things that we need to pay attention to, which is Algan Az's lap time 131.533. Ricky Contreras' lap time was a 135.961. 4 seconds faster on that first tire Algan Az is compared to the drivers at the back. But at the front, it's a bit different there, because when we look at the timetable, their lap times basically range between the high 131s and low 132s. So Algan Az might actually have a shot coming into the end of this race.
Well, looking at the first place, the people that are much farther ahead, I'd argue they have less traffic going on. I don't think lap cars are going to go into play if nothing really bad happens, but there's an extremely, and I mean extremely small possibility that they can.
And right now, we're looking into a 2-car battle, maybe a 3-car battle here right now. Here you can see another battle there between Alex Brent and Sergey Petrov, and now Algan Az is currently in the mix to try to make a sneaky dive bomb down the inside, but I think he's too far back. They'll have to wait until next lap, but I think you can see Sergey Petrov understeers into that corner massively. So obviously this will open the door for Az to make a charge back. But meanwhile, I want to take a look into some of the drivers who have yet to pit, which is basically everyone except Algan Aster and Typhoon Triniketin has made basically clear dealings with Ricky Contreras. I don't know if Ricky Contreras is now in the mix.
This could be definitely a leaderboard shadower, quote unquote, as it's going to be really kind of awkward for the people just pitting to kind of keep up with those who pitted a little bit earlier, at least to me, and especially if you haven't pitted yet, as it's going to force all the people that haven't pitted kind of back a little. And by a little, I mean a lot. Aster is already up to 15th, I believe. Still has 10 more laps.
And meanwhile, you did mention that there are only 10 laps to go in this race, and you are absolutely right. And as you can see here, the front runners are only lapping into 132s, and Algan Aster is lapping into 131. So Algan Aster about a second faster than the drivers in the lead. So Algan Aster is currently on the charge here, but let's see if Aster can have clear dealings with the Nissan in front of him, as the Nissan have absolutely struggled with traction, as their tires are basically 18 laps old.
Aster is I'm gonna say really heavily relying on people in front of them to pit right now, as he sweeps up anything that hasn't pitted yet. It's gonna be, I'd argue, a ticking time bomb right now, as they're in 15th right now, and it's about like 10, 9 laps to go. It's gonna be a real struggle, but potentially an extremely well-fought struggle between Aster and everyone in front of him.
And you can see Petrov really struggling on the exit of the final corner. That just shows you how worn those tires are. Aster is really going to try to make a move onto Petrov, but Petrov is actually holding him back. And Rakimbayev also peels into the pit. Let's see how will Contreras fare in that battle, because Contreras' nearest rival is Rakimbayev. Check Sergey Reza is still stuck. So that is unfortunate for Sergey Reza. Basically, that's his race over. He will finish last and 35th. So obviously, Sergey Reza is still good. But meanwhile, Alex Bowen fighting on the right position. What will she do?
It's a battle in the making potentially. It doesn't seem like it's really escalating right now, but oh no, that's just pitting. Okay, I thought there was anything going on. Oh, so the battles. Yep, Grant and Bonaire right now fighting a little bit.
Yes.
Seems,
yes,
yeah.
Hang on, they're battling, and as you can see here, Alex Grant might have a slight advantage here, but Bonaire has the run heading into Redmond corner. Bonaire has the inside line, and Daniel Molatev now fields it into pits.
Well, it seems this is just the active time to start pitting, which it's gonna be awesome for those who are already pitted as they start to scoop up, you know, everything that hasn't pitted and just absolutely blaze through those gaps, you know.
And currently, Daniel Molatev serves his pit stop is currently actually in 10th place. The battle for basically the midfield battle that we're seeing right now is getting very feisty there. Trina has caught up to Allegan Aster as well. Well, for now, I think pitted at the same time, but Allegan Aster was farther ahead than Trina to quite the margin, but because Aster was held up by Petrov, the gap has really closed up.
I think it's also because the Aster pitted just like they pitted first. I think I'm gonna say this a little bit slowly. Train 10 just kind of pitted like maybe about 3 laps after Aster hit it. So
yes, we want to mention that Allegan Aster eventually made the pass on Atwood. Made the pass on Petrov at Atwood, and now he's gonna go on the double pass now. This time on. Basically Von Air. Allegan Aster is now up to 13. Trey Nickens is also going to gain a position. And here we see Sergey Petrov trying to valiantly defend with those 4 tires, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Trey Nickens is now up to 15, but let's see if we can make the move on Von Air.
It seems Petrov is just kind of struggling right now, especially with those tires. I reckon he'd have to pit soon to at least save a little bit of his position right now, as he is just not looking good right now. His walls are crumbling.
Yes, his walls are crumbling indeed, and meanwhile, the front runners are still up there in the top 3. We don't know if they're going to pit or not. Their fuel calculations are still yet to be known. And here we see Trey Nickens trying to get close. Makes a move down the inside of Trey Nickens into Von Air. Trey Nickens with those fresher tires. Again, Von Air, they need to make slight contact. And here we see Von Air valiantly defend with those 4 tires, just like how Petrov did, but this time it's successful for now. Well, how long will it continue?
I think Von Air's got to break eventually right now, especially with the tires, and it's gonna be, oh no, that's not a dive, my bad. Well, it's gonna happen soon, I reckon. It's basically an absolute right now, but I believe Von Air I believe has a small chance of just holding Train Nickton back. I'm sorry I'm saying your name, so it's just it's hard to pronounce.
Meanwhile, Von Air was pushed down the outside. Now he's under pressure from Sergey Petrov once again. Both of them are in the same surge of no pitting, but obviously Von Air stuck at the back at the moment, and obviously Von Air basically now under pressure from Sergey Petrov. Meanwhile, Allegan Aster is looking to make a serious dive bomb down the inside at an unlikely place that is Puck's corner. Allegan Aster makes easy dealings with Alex Grant, and now Allegan Aster is up to 12. Now, the next driver in front of him is Tim Inno, but let's see what he can do.
About 6 laps left right now. It's gonna be a serious race against the clock right now for Aster to really regain the former position, and although he is taking positions left and right as he just did with Inno, but it's going to be a little bit of fighting back. I think Aster, yeah, it's a secure position at least for now, I believe, but for Aster it's a race against the clock for the most part.
Yes, we do want to mention that the tire fall off at Okayama is absolutely massive. If you haven't pitted, then you're going to be losing a lot of lap time. And as you can see here, the front leaders are only lapping at a 133, while Aligan Aster is leading at a 131 here in Okayama. So watch out for basically Aligan Aster, because he's currently on the charge.
And he should be. It's gonna be extremely hard to just get through all of those gents and lady gents, to just get through all of them within that certain time frame. As I've said, it's gonna be an extreme offensive right now, and unlikely to succeed offensive, but it's gotta be a huge one.
And as you can see here, Kaczynski and Bowen who have yet to pit only laps in the 134s. Meanwhile, we look at Daniel Bolotin coming across the final corner. Let's see how much Bolotin can gain to Alex Bowen. Remember, the two Lexus cars of lap time are only at a. Meanwhile, the negative passes on Alex Grant. And the Bolotin only has a 133.9, but still quick. Alex has a 132.388. So Bolotin is being caught up by Aster, who is also catching Kaczynski and Bowen.
Looking at some of the later ones, Tim Inno scoring a 137, which really does just show how badly the tire wear is on this. And this is only like 20 laps in right now. This isn't even just the whole main full race right now. It's going to be extraordinary to see what's going to happen tomorrow and how all the drivers really manage their tire wear.
So right now, trying to make a move into Tim Inno, who is absolutely struggling in terms of tire pace at the moment. Trinity really trying to go for the offensive, but he's not close enough. Tim Inno having that good defense, but Trinity thought of a move down the inside, but went off wide there. So obviously, there's another battle here between Sergei Petrov and Bon Air. Both of them have gone hammer and taunt. Sergei Petrov has gone a bit sideways there. And right now, Bon Air and Sergei Petrov going hammer and taunt side by side between each other. And Petrov has the inside line heading into Piper, into Redmond. They're still side by side.
It's gonna be a little bit of a kind of just a battle of who kind of makes the most mistakes right now, especially with tire wear. But it seems Petrov might have a slight edge right now.
Yes, Petrov.
But that edge is.
Yeah,
Petrov has a strong edge.
Yeah, but Bon Air manages to defend blissfully in the corners. The Lexus is still keen in the corner where the Nissan just doesn't shine there. Meanwhile, again, after with another 132, Daniel Bolotis has a 133.469. So Aligan Aster is still on fire. Let's see what Aligan Aster can do to catch up and get back inside the top 10.
Okay, yeah, it's a top 10 likely, but looking at the gap, Bolotin currently 15 seconds behind right now. I don't think Aster would be able to clear that time.
But not really. Aster is only 2.5 seconds behind Bolotin. Bolotin is only 18 seconds behind Bowen and Kaczynski. Meanwhile, as Grant and Bon Air now battling side by side. Bon Air are trying to fight for what's left in the championship. Bon Air trying to get Grant, but obviously Grant having that Nissan power on the hood is not looking good there. But will there be a sneaky dive bomb by Bon Air? Yes, she will. Bon Air on the inside, but anything into Revolver will be the outside, as well as Piper. But this will push Grant slightly into the inside. Grant got squeezed, and as you can see here, Grant has the exit heading into Redmond. Man, there's battles left and center between Ethan Brooklyn and top pitted as well as Alex Grant. Will try to defend as much as he can from Bon Air. Bon Air is now up to 14th place as it stands, heading into Mike Knight. Let's see if there will be some festy side-by-sides. The answer is no. And there will be another battle as Sergei Petrov now pauses it into the mix as Thomas Snooks gets into the lap cars.
Well, I said it was an extremely low chance that lap cars, would kind of be a thing, but I guess I was wrong. Well, I guess I was right, but technically, Snook's right now having to deal with all of these cars kind of in front of him right now. It's going to be kind of interesting to see if they can really pass them all, especially with, I believe, the tire age of Snooks. It's really going to catch up to him.
Meanwhile, Tony Bazinga and Phu Me is also trying to catch up to Thomas Snooks as well. As you can see, Bazinga's really struggling to pass Sergey Petrov there. Sergey Petrov obviously the last car on the lead left with Ricky Contreras and Phu My are obviously already lapped at the moment. Let's see what Snooks can do to make the pass on to Petrov heading into basically the final 3 laps of this race.
It's gonna be eventful, to say the least. This is a battle of the lap cars right now. If they can hold off Snooks for long enough, this could potentially be, and I can already see Bazinga slowly catching up to Snooks. Snooks really has to pass Petrov like within the next couple, at least like a lap or two, and if he really wants that position secured.
And right now he is definitely on the eye for it, as you can see here. Thomas Snooks gonna try to get a lap, basically lap the 5 car, but they're gonna be side by side. And yes, Snooks manages to clear, but will Bazinga manage to clear Petrov on time? As Snooks still has traffic in front of him. Let's see what Bazinga can do to clear his Nissan teammate, who is currently about to go a lap down. Let's see what he can do. Not close enough as it stands. So Snooks obviously still has some lap traffic in front of him, but let's see. You can see here on board from the rear of the car how much Snooks is able to catch up. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, again, Bazinga needs to pass Petrov like really soon if he really wants to take that spot from Snooks right now. It's gonna be really kind of finger riding to really see what's gonna happen within this fate of lap cars.
And here we see some of the other battles here right now. There's still a lot of side-by-side battles in there between the back of the pack and also the front runners as well. As you can see, Alex Grant trying to overtake Bon Air once again. Thomas Snooks have still cleared Sergey Petrov. Sergey Petrov's now a lap down. But meanwhile, there's a lot of battles here. Sergey Petrov is going to try to unlap himself, and this will allow for basically Tony Bazinga to really catch up to Thomas Snooks. If Thomas Snooks makes an error in this one, Thomas Snooks will not be in the main race.
Okay, this is very. It's the fight over first place.
Bazinga they made contact! They made contact! Basically, Snooks got wide at Mike Knight corner, and we're about to start the final lap of this race. Tony Bazinga has cleared the lap cars, and here is the final lap of the race. This might decide who wins this race and who makes it into the main race tomorrow. Thomas Snooks is currently hot on the heels of Alex Grant. Alex Grant didn't clear him as much as he could, and right now Thomas is getting very desperate there, and as you can see, Bazinga's only 4/10 of a second. They're side by side heading into Moss corner. Basically the battle between the Lexus and the Nissan. Tony Bazinga is going to challenge for the race lead, side by side exiting basically Atwood corner, and Tony Bazinga steals the race lead.
As I said, battle of lap cars right now, and Snooks just got way too into the battling right now. Got too overconfident and got kind of shafted into the off the track a little bit, and then he managed to regain composure a little bit, but that just wasn't enough right now. And now Snooks is falling behind, currently battling Phu My right now.
And
currently,
and we also want to mention if basically Bazinga would want to try to clear the lap car of Alex Grant at the moment. Here at the moment, you can see the car is battled for that 43 car, and she should have both on Lexus there. But right now, Tony Bazinga stayed in the hunt, stayed in the fight for the race lead. He probably doesn't need to clear the lap car of possibly lap car of Alex Grant, but Tony Bazinga steals the race lead and is about to steal the race win for both Shaki Reza and Thomas Snooks. Tony Bazinga wins here in Okayama, and he makes it into the main race.
Man, just imagine. That's just like really unlucky. Snooks was blazing ahead like way too fast. Completely I would argue, kind of miscalculated how badly it would affect his, everyone's tires, and now he kind of got messed up in the end.
And Jake Fox doing everything he can. He just played his cards right. He played into the misfortunes of others. Jake Fox for what's basically E9 on the grid will make it into the main race in 6th on that final transfer spot.
What a race going on, especially in that little final bit over there. Just beautiful, amazing racing going out to, well, just about anyone in that little clump of cars going on. But it's absolutely amazing to see Tony Bazinga take over Thomas Nukes.
And here we see
Good
the
stuff.
finisher. So obviously Aligan Aster finishing 10th, Aligan Aster 11, sorry, Latif 10, Aster 11, Tony Nickenden 12, Tim Eno 13, and here we see Bon Air's championship chances go up in smoke. Basically, with the 6 spots locked in, Bon Air will be out of title contention, and as it stands right now, only 12 drivers have a shot on challenging the championship heading into basically tomorrow. And with that out of the way, as the race results are complete, here we see Tony Bazinga stealing the race win from Thomas Nukes in the Kazamani Rohan Nissan. Thomas Nukes in the Shishirobotan. Lexus finishes second after starting second. Phu My will be in the main race. Phu My's championship hopes are still alive as championship leader, as does Juan Suarto in 4th and Daniel Bauer in 5th in that Sharon Louis Flair and Yuzo Ramel Lexus cars respectively. Jake Fox in 6th in the Hoshimari Lexus will also be in the main race as well. Ben Ripton, Roger Kaczynski, outgoing, and Daniel Latif, however, they are quite short of making it into the main race. But though, we will have to pay attention to them next season to see if they are going to make a bounce back or not, but we'll have to wait. Meanwhile, we're looking at Aligan Aster and Cypher Trinigatan. They were trying to go bold with a strategy that just didn't work out. Obviously, Aster doing very well with that strategy, but got caught up into traffic way too late. So that didn't play well for him, as he was inside the top 6, but he was out of it. Then Cypher Trinigatan in 12th in the Yukiyama Lamy Honda. And then Tim Eno in the Polka Nissan 13. Bon Air, as we mentioned, out of championship contention now after not qualifying for the main race. Alex Grant 15th in the Kanata Nissan, Sugi Betmav Nissan in 16th. Contreras 17th in the Lapis Darkness Honda. And Rahim Bayev 18th in the Okayama Honda. And Shakir Reza, the Postseason in Nissan, started on pole in the qualifying race. Then misfire at the start, and then he just couldn't get out of the pits once everything is settled. So Shakir Reza, the unluckiest driver in the postseason. So commiserations to the younger Reza.
Honorary trophy. I'm thinking personally, because Shakir Reza put off a good fight. Put on a good fight. It's just his luck was just absolutely awful. I mean, it was 3rd time in a row, I believe.
Yes, 3rd time in a row.
Yeah, I want that man to have, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a man anyway.
Yeah.
To get an honorary trophy, personally.
Yeah, we will definitely give him a trophy in due course to basically commend his efforts while trying to beat the odds as well, but it just wasn't meant to be today. But here we see the 22 drivers who have basically qualified into the main race. We're just going to need to basically sift through everything. So basically, I want to hear your thoughts on the qualifying races before we end the stream.
Snooks almost had it.
Agreed.
Had it on the fingertips and just got too overconfident and kind of got shafted onto the side of the track. Oh my god. I mean, it could have definitely been much worse, I'd argue. It could have gotten, absolutely, turned over and everything, completely, denying him any access to even the main race tomorrow. But just an obviously great show from all these contestants.
So obviously we need to get a bit of a so basically we want to talk about the lap cars that was basically a topic in this race. So obviously we have a few guys who have made it and a few guys who have not made it as well. We wanted to re-clarify a few things. From outstanding rookies to championship contenders showing their muscles and all that stuff. Obviously, there has been a lot to talk about today, and there will be more to talk about tomorrow in the main race, especially with the surprise with surprise ones on the outside looking in, and surprise ones on the inside looking out. So we just need to basically check back once again on who is in and who is not. But obviously, I'd say that this has been one of the few intriguing races that we have had, because obviously it is just chaotic. We didn't think some of the championship contenders would make it, and we didn't think some of the others would not make it. So obviously we need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so obviously we have 22 drivers basically confirmed to race in tomorrow. One of those drivers is Matheus Juan de Porto and Lorenzo Ricci, basically in their final weekends in the Hololive GT3. What are your odds for them to at least have a good result tomorrow?
It's gonna be rough struggle. I'd even argue for Phu My, who even is in first place. It's just gonna be really rely on just the skill of the drivers themselves. It's gonna be absolutely just a joy to watch the finale tomorrow. It'll be a joy to see who managed to pull out on top and who just absolutely dominating, just kind of fall.
Yeah, and right now we also wanted to mention that I believe 12 of the 13 championship contenders have qualified into the main race. So it's going to be a massive crapshoot on who makes it in, basically it makes it in through points. So obviously we need to basically pay attention to those 12 championship contenders, and the other 10 are not going to fight for the championship, but they will be fighting for whatever glory that's left in basically in the championship. So as for the championship contenders, from Phu My to Callum Gibbons, Jose Hernandez, Andrew Tacosled, Lorenzo Ricci, Daniel Bauer, Anthony Emanel, Richie Roy, Aquamarine Jensen, Hans-Heinrich Heinz, Juan Suharto, Mohamed Shazrin Reza, and all that stuff. Who do you think is your favorite amongst the championship contenders to win?
I'm going with Aquamarine Jensen and Juan Suharto. Jensen's just been an absolute amazement to just watch. Rookie of the year, definitely, but it's just overall good, somewhat clean racing. And then Juan Suharto, just the underdog of everything. And if he could just pull up on top, it would just be an amazing just story to watch unfold.
And speaking of the qualified drivers here, you see the 22 drivers who will make it into the main race. All of Gen 0 obviously impressed us with their basically stunning performance, showing off their veteran skills and all that stuff. From Phu My to Lorenzo Ricci, they have performed admirably well. All of them are inside the top 10, except Callum Gibbons, who is currently sitting in 12. But obviously with Bon out of the equation, he's well, all of them will have a chance to have a top 10 finish. Daniel Bauer also having a good shot as well. So, and then all of Gen 1 except Daniel Bauer, except Bon Air. So there's 9 drivers settled. And here we see the Gen 2 field, which basically raises the field up to 13. Aquamarine Jensen, rookie, obviously one of Zeke's favorites for them to win the championship. Kizuhara Leo, and then there's Jeff Clark, not coming for the championship, obviously. Hans-Heinrich Heinz as well, still in somewhat in contention for the championship as well. And then we have Sean Pauly, that makes it 14 drivers confirmed. Then we have Natalia Fajardo and Jake Fox, which basically races the field up to 17th. And then we have the Porter and Shazrin Reza also having a good shot to win the championship, especially with Shazrin Reza clutching up at Fuji. I say that he has a good shot at winning the championship. That's 19 drivers settled. Thomas Snooks in 20th, the 20th seat in the field right now after dominating the qualifying races. He's looking for revenge in the 20th seed, and for the first time since the format was introduced, Zeke Wimberly and Tony Bazinga will qualify for the main race. So kudos to them as well. So obviously we're going to close the stream with a few notes here as well. Tune in at the same time, 1 p.m. JST, UTC 4 a.m. for basically the race tomorrow. For the main race that will decide the postseason championship, we will also unveil the trophy for the championship winners for them to see. Whatever the case is, we hope you enjoyed the massively amazing racing that we've had so far. So whatever the case is, I am Mohammed Shadrisa. Alongside me is Zeke Wimberly in the commentary booth, and you've been watching the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series postseason.